Playoffs? Playoffs? Oh, playoffs? I don't know what the song is. A little gay, but. Okay.
Coach, big win, huge win last week versus your opponent. What do you have to say about that?
Sometimes a win's a win. Sometimes when you don't bring your A game, it's sometimes good to get out of the enemy's territory with a win, and that's what we're going to talk this up for. And next week we have some big challenges to go with, and let's attack them next week.
All right, Coach. Now you beat your opponent 179 to 158, so great win there. What took you over the top?
Well, I would have to say it comes down to Ramondre and Saquon. My running backs, that part of that three-headed monster with McCaffrey now, I'm going to need to lean on them to continue to allow me to keep it in there with other teams that have more dynamic, big game playmakers.
All right, Coach, you forgot to actually mention your quarterback. I mean, your QB, Mahomes, gave you 60 points. Are you happy to have him on your team?
Listen, there's only a few premier top-tier quarterbacks in the league, and I'm lucky to have one of them. And Patrick Mahomes for president. Thank you.
Coach, did Indy 500 make a mistake for not drafting Mahomes or Josh Allen with the first pick instead of going with Justin Herbert?
Hindsight is 2020, but in this case, yes, you have to look back and think that he did make a mistake in not drafting, one of the two. This generation's Brady or Manning.
Ooh, that's a good one, Coach.
But not my squad.
Coach, 5-2 record. Congratulations on that. How are the players feeling in the locker room?
Job's not done. Job's not finished. We're trying to mold this roster for not only this week or next week, but for the foreseeable future in that playoff run, because we know we have some great managers and teams in this league, and it's going to take our A game during those weeks in order to bring home this championship back home to Daddy.
All right, Coach, you were on a 3-game winning streak there for a while, and then you came up against the buzzsaw that is known as 2-minute drilling your mom. Were you concerned that was going to, flip you into a tailspin? How did you get your guys back on the winning track after that terrible loss to the 2-minute drilling your mom team, which is the number one team in the league right now?
When you're playing top flight competition, sometimes you're going to get your teeth kicked in a little bit. Mm-hmm. But we put our teeth back in, and we're going to do the same thing to the opposition and try to build towards, like I said, that championship team. We're not finished yet. It's a road to success.
The road to success. All right, Coach. Now there's been some controversy. There's been some name calling. You've been identified as a trade rapist in the league, specifically by the Coach Louis from El Cunado. Is there any truth to that?
I like to stay aggressive and try to interact with a bunch of different players throughout the league, managers. As sometimes things work, sometimes they don't. But if you don't ask, you'll never get it.
Coach, you lead the league in moves made so far. Do you have a problem with roster rating?
Well, when it comes to the roster and the moves, it all comes down to my goal of trying to build the perfect roster by playoff time. Sometimes I have good moves, sometimes I have bad. But at the end of the day, we just take and analyze the process and go from there. And so that way we have that A game for those playoffs, later in the season.
Coach, last question here, and then we'll let you go. Why don't you tell us about the trade that you made with Fifth and Centimeters? How do you grade that trade? How do you think it went for you, and how do you think it went for Fifth and Centimeters?
Well, obviously the winner, if you're just going off of this week, would be Zach. Davis Mills had a great game. But like I said, it all comes down to thinking towards the long term, and sometimes you got to give up something to get something. And I'm hoping that I'm going to get some return from some of the guys. I think Zappy looked pretty decent for a short period of time last night. So we're going to hope that he takes that long-term starting role here as a 4th-round pick.
All right, Coach. And I lied about the last question. This is going to be the last question. You're in 3rd place right now. Give us a prediction of where your team is going to finish.
You know, we'll stay in the top 4. You know, as long as we stay in the top 4, make things happen, and just make it to the playoffs. And that's all we try to do here. And we'll go from there.
All right. Thanks, Coach.